I'm James Helder and welcome to another special episode of Not For The News. I'm quite fortunate and honoured to be joined by my esteemed colleagues, none other than Leon Knight. What's happening, Knight? Are you all good, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. You all right?
Yeah, all good, brother. Thank you. Also joined by Curtis Woodhouse. How are you, mate? What was your moniker when you were boxing? What was your tag?
The Driffield Destroyer.
Destroyer.
Yeah.
Come on. Simple. The Driffield Destroyer, bro. Simple.
Yeah.
Like, I just
that is flipping. That's brilliant, bro. I don't care what anyone says. That is flipping.
something
mad.
like you'd expect in Rocky, isn't it? Like the
That's
kid
mad,
thing,
bro.
the Driffield Destroyer.
Hey, I've got a little fighter I'm training now. He's only 13 years of age. He's called Ben Tytek. He lives just around the corner from where I was brought up. He lives in Driffield. Yeah. He's training with me, and he's taken my nickname, the Driffield Destroyer. If you get a chance, go on my Twitter. I posted something on him yesterday. The kid's got stones in his gloves. He's only 13. Hard hitting, mate. He hits like a mule. You know, when I've seen him like drop plenty of people at 13 years of age. People don't really get knocked out. He's taking people out in sparring. Pretty brutal. The kid's going to be he's going to be a menace if he can stay dedicated to it. Remember the name, Ben Tytek, the Driffield Destroyer #2.
The Driffield Destroyer, right?
Curtis, like, I just wanted to ask you about this boxing thing, yeah?
Yeah.
You was like a welterweight, right?
Light welter, 10 stone, I boxed at.
Okay. What was it like to keep the weight? Because I've been seeing a lot of things in UFC and in boxing, fighters not making the weight and stuff like that. I just wanted to know, like, what kind of, diet and, like, extreme cases that people, because it's quite dangerous, like, do you get what I'm saying?
You know what, when I used to make 10 stone, when I was in my late 20s, I was fine. I could make it. Listen, I had to use to sacrifice like mad and eat clean, but I could make it okay. As I got older, making 10 stone became dangerous. I mean, I boxed Derry Matthews at 9 stone 9, and that's the closest I've ever felt to like thinking, poor, have I gone overboard here? Like, I felt like my ears were bleeding. I remember leaving to go to the weigh-in, and I had to get in the bath to take. I woke up, I think it was 10 stone 2, and I need to make 9 stone 9. And now I got in the bath and I fainted in the bath. I collapsed and I couldn't get out of the bath. And I remember walking down to the weigh-in, and I just felt horrendous. It's the only time I ever walked to the ring. You know, I'm pretty confident. And listen, I know I'm not a great boxer, but every time I was walking to the ring, I always thought, you know what, it's on. I'm ready here. Yeah. The Derry Matthews fight is the only fight I've walked to the ring a little bit worried about my safety, because I knew how dangerously I'd made the weight. And it was horrible. The worst feeling ever. And I look back at my own career, and I probably should have moved up weights a lot earlier than what I did. But you get ranked at the weight. You know, if I moved up, I'd have to go through the rankings again. I'm getting old, so I'm just hanging on for dear life to try and get a title shot, really. I don't know what the answer is, Nighty. You know, the day before weigh-ins have come in, so it makes the sport safer. So fighters are not going into the fights dehydrated. Yeah. But then it makes people
time to rehydrate. Gives that.
But then it really makes people push the barrier of what weight they can actually make. You know, when I used to fight at 10 stone, I used to get in the ring at about 11 stone 4. So I'd put on 18, 19 pounds in 36 hours. So it just shows you how dehydrated I was to actually make that weight.
Jesus Christ.
Do you still get the yearly obligatory tweet from Derry Matthews once a year?
I spoke to Derry the other day, actually.
You and him have good banter. You and him have had some banter over the years on.
Do you know what? Like, I've always liked Derry. Always. When I first came into the game, everyone in the boxing world pretty much used to take the piss out of me. They're like saying, this guy's like rubbish, what a joke. And I seen Derry at a show, and at the time, Derry was like right up there. I mean, he was good amateur when he turned pro, had a lot of fanfare, and I think he'd had like 10, 15 fights. He'd won like an IBF international, people were talking about him. And he came up to me one time at a weigh-in and just said, oh, listen, I've been watching your fights. It looks like you're getting better and better each fight. Keep going, like, well done. And he was the first person that ever like gave me that sort of praise, and an actual boxer that I knew and everybody else knew. So I always had a soft spot for Derry. And then after we fought, for whatever reason, he's always been a little bit disrespectful towards me. And I don't know why that is. I can understand it if I beat him, but he I don't get it. I don't. But listen, it is what it is. Like I say, I like Derry, and
listen, mate, you ain't got to be in. Not only you, but any boxer that gets in that ring, mate, and puts their flipping life on the line, mate, ain't got to be flipping like praised or anything, mate. You lot are flipping. Do you know what I mean? It's a different kettle of fish. It's all right playing football and basketball and tennis and all of that. You know what I mean? You might come into it nowadays. You can't even tackle in football, but
yeah,
it's UFC and boxing, mate. Honest to God, mate. Honestly, mate. You see some people.
Yeah, it's rough in there as well. You know, especially the level that I boxed at. We're talking about we're not world level. You know, you watch people fighting in and around my level. We're doing it for peanuts, mate. We're literally doing it for less than minimum wage. We're doing it for the love. We're fighting for the love of fighting. And that's what I love about, you know, the British title fights. Some of the British title fights are the best fights you'll ever see because the geezers are not getting paid much dough, but it means so much. I always say, like, honestly, I made absolute peanuts in my boxing career, but whenever my name comes up, it's always Curtis Woodhouse, former British champion. And you can't put a price on that for me. I'll go to my grave with that. My kids will remember that. Everyone will remember that. So, yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
The only thing you can say is football, if you suffered defeat to a big team, you've got a chance the next week to put that right.
Yeah.
Boxing is the only categorized sport where you could be the absolute man on a Saturday morning. I mean, the main man worldwide. And then on a Sunday, your career can be in absolute tatters or even worse.
Yeah, 100%. I'll tell you a quick story. Like,
you may not fight again, or you may have to work your way up to that level.
Yeah.
So you may
unless you're a champion and you've got a rematch clause, and then you can actually, you know what I mean, resurrect what happened. But other than that, you're right, mate.
Like said, the majority of fighters aren't at that level. Rematch clauses are very, very few and far between in between British level and world level. So then you could lose. You could be the absolute man. You could be on the up. Suffer defeat. You've then got to spend 2 years to try and get back to the level you're at.
Yeah. I'll just tell you a quick story. When I won the British title, when I beat Darren Hamilton, the fight was in Hull. Obviously, I live in Driffield, which is 25 minutes away from Hull. I didn't go out on the night of the fight because I was just absolutely emotionally drained. So I went home, got an early night, woke up the next morning, fresh as daisy, went straight into my mum's pub. Back in Driffield, mate. When I walked in there, I felt like John Wayne. Mate, I swear, I walked in the pub, the Falcon, and everybody that I'd ever known in my whole life was in that pub. It was absolutely packed, like rammed. And the fight came on live the next day. The replay of the fight was on the next day, and everyone was watching it as if it was live. Everyone's going, go on, go on. It was amazing. Honestly, it was the best day I've ever had. It was such a day. It was just amazing. And then obviously I boxed Willie Limond and lost the title up in Scotland, like about a year later, I think it was. Because I retired initially and then came back because they offered me like big money for me. I think I got like 40 grand for that fight. Bearing in mind, I've been fighting for like 3, 4, 5 grand my whole career. So I boxed Willie Limond, lost the title, came back from Scotland the next day, went into the pub, and I went in with my mate, like my best mate who came in after the Hamilton fight, me and Andy Ward. And I went in the day when I lost to Willie Limond, and I swear there was like tumbleweed going. There was literally nobody in there. There was me, Andy, and my mum. It was funny, right? It just made me think of it when you said that, James. You literally go from being John Wayne to, I know people have been watching the fight that night saying, what a bum.
Well, you got paid, mate. You got paid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Let's move away from the memoirs of the Driffield Destroyer for a little bit. Let's look at some of the goings-ons. Now, I know you lads have seen the news regarding Cristiano Ronaldo. He's missed pre-season training twice in 2 days. The first session's back. Player like Ronaldo, he's going to be the first player in. I would say he would be there extra early. What's going on? What do we read into the fact that he's not around? He's not in the training squad. Potentially going to miss the tour as well coming up.
I mean, Curtis, you've played high level, highest level, Prem, everything. Like, player don't turn up. You automatically know where it is. Do you know what I mean? It's not flipping rocket science. You don't want to be there. Do you know what I mean? Unless he's got like a family issue or, you know, whatever like that. And after time, that don't even, you know, make you not want to come training first day preseason or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So he don't want to be there. And me personally, I don't blame him. Do you know what I mean? I don't blame him. The only thing I would say is he should, like, him being who he is, should really, like, you know, do it the correct way and just say, you know, I wanna part company really and go my separate ways and whatever. Do you know what I mean? It'd be good to get him off the wage bill. You can bring a couple more players in on these wages and, you know, just let him show the respect to him. You know, he came back, he was top goal scorer again. And just let him go. All of this now, we're not letting him go. We want price tag and all of that. It don't make no sense. He's 38 or 36, 7 or whatever he is. And do you know what I mean? He don't want to be there. End of story. He just don't want to be there.
How much?
I kind of think, I look at it from the outside, looking in, thinking he's probably got something in the pipeline. He's probably saying, listen, I ain't coming back to train to get injured to then scupper this potential move. Yeah, it's sad how it's panned out, really, because Ronaldo is a proper legend, isn't he? At Man United, Real Madrid, and every club he's been at, really. I'd hate to see him go out with people questioning him, really. And you look at it, if it wasn't for him in that Man United team last year, they're probably finishing in the bottom half.
Yeah.
And he probably looks around him thinking, like, we haven't signed any players, the team's not going to be any better. And he is still, you put him in a top team, you put him in that Man City team, instead of Haaland, he's getting 35, 40 goals as well. You know, I still think he's a top player and he deserves to be at a top club. And Man United are just not that anymore.
The fact Man United haven't got Champions League football, his last game in the Champions League was against Barcelona in the 2-0 defeat for Manchester United. How much do you think that's playing on his mind a little bit? Could be his last season. A player like Ronaldo needs and feels he should be in the Champions League. How much do you think that's contributed to the situation?
He's got to be on the big stage, hasn't he, Ronaldo? He's got to be on the big stage. You know, he's arguably, you know, people could argue he's the greatest player of all time, the greatest goal scorer. You look at his stats, they're absolutely ridiculous. So he deserves to be on that big stage. And Man United have not delivered what they probably told him they were going to deliver when he signed. So see you later. It's not Cristiano Ronaldo's fault. I'm all for it. I think Cristiano Ronaldo should be playing at the top, in the top stage, in the Champions League. Man United have not delivered, so Cristiano should leave.
No, he's a club legend at Manchester United. Do you think he owes the fans a little bit more? Do you think the fans are entitled to expect him to have ended his career potentially at Manchester United?
He don't owe Man United anything, really, to be quite honest. He don't owe him anything. And like Curtis is saying, Cristiano Ronaldo, big stage. Do you know what I mean? He probably wants a few more goals in the Champions League. I just can't see where he's going.
Yeah, that's an issue of where he's going to go.
Yeah, who's paying that wage bill there? Like, do you know what I mean? Where, like, he's not going to go Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? They're probably the biggest. They probably can afford these wages. Who else can afford these wages really? Unless he takes a massive pay cut. Like, who else can actually afford Cristiano Ronaldo?
Paris Saint-Germain, do you think they'd be in for him?
I was just going to say that. Commercially, having Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, and Cristiano Ronaldo in one squad commercially is an unbelievable thing to achieve.
Yeah, that is a joke, to be fair.
but they'll score 1,001 and flipping still not win the Champions League, mate. I don't know what's wrong with that club over there, mate. I ain't got.
Wouldn't you love to see Messi and Ronaldo in the same team, though?
Yeah. It's about a decade. It's about a decade too late, but I still like to see it.
Yeah, I'd still like to see it. It's a joke, really. Imagine that front four: Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, and Ronaldo. Oof. If you're defending against them, imagine how deep you're going to be.
Be on your flipping goal line, won't you? Flipping it up.
Yeah. No, it won't go Paris Saint-Germain, will he, when you think about it? He ain't going to go. Chelsea, I've heard Chelsea in the press.
What about Bayern Munich? Sadio Mane, link up with Ronaldo, two proven players, can certainly help deliver a Champions League back.
Well, I think Lewandowski's how old now?
He looks like he's going, doesn't he? potentially rumoured to be going to Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah.
Well, this is. I don't think Bayern would take him.
I would love him to go to Bayern. You know, I mean, his CV. If he went to Bayern, there's no doubt he'd be the leading goal scorer in that league. And then his CV, he's kind of done everything, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for being at PSG in France, he's done everything. Like he's been Spain, Italy, England, Germany. If he was to end up at Bayern, but I just think if I'm Ronaldo now, like I've done all I can do, and I've achieved everything that I've achieved. I'm just thinking to myself, do I really want to stress myself out? I'll just go back to Portugal, Lisbon or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to LA Galaxy, me, all day long. I'm chilling.
Now, I mean, that's what I'm saying though, Curtis. Do you like at 36, 37, like surely your body is crumbling. Like surely the amount of games and everything. I know he keeps himself in the right order and diet and he looks flipping tremendous and stuff, but surely it must be taking a toll on your body somewhere along the line.
But you know what? People like Ronaldo and that, they're cut from a different cloth, aren't they? You know, he will be still wanting to, like you said earlier, Knight, he'll still want to add to them Champions League goals to make sure no one's going to be getting anywhere near him. Yeah. You know, these guys are complete next level. You know, that it's a mentality that makes them different. He probably won't even be thinking of LA Galaxy or anything along them lines. He'll probably be thinking, can I get back to Real Madrid? Will Man City want me? You know, he'll be still wanting to win titles and really, really do stuff.
Imagine the scenes if we went to Man City. Flip.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
If Sterling goes, like, do you know what I mean? They've got
Man U wouldn't sell him though, would they? If he was out of contract, then maybe, but Man U are not going to sell him to Man City.
I know, but still.
For me, legacy-wise...
See Stranger Things, mate.
Yeah.
Legacy-wise, it's got to be Bayern Munich. The LA Galaxy thing's a season or two off, in my opinion.
But you're pushing this Bayern Munich thing. Like, what is the Bayern Munich thing?
Well, because for legacy, isn't it? If he goes there and wins the Bundesliga, has even a good chance at winning the Champions League. On the CV, that is a massive thing to dominate.
Yeah. It would be ridiculous.
Serie A and the Spanish league, and then to go and do it in the Bundesliga. It
is next level, isn't it?
It's next level.
Be the easiest league that as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, they're going to win it. Bayern are going to win it, aren't they? No,
100%.
Everyone knows that.
Can you imagine
they have got a chance of the Champions League as well, Bayern. The Bayern team's strong. Very, very good.
Always solid as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look a little bit at Wayne Rooney's departure from Derby County. Done a fantastic job, Wayne Rooney. Won some praise and plaudits considering the amount of points that Derby were docked throughout the season. What's your thoughts initially on his departure from Derby County? And I'm going to go straight in with a war dog on this one.
You just said what everyone keeps saying, and it annoys me. Well, it doesn't annoy me, but I just think, like, where's this kind of saying coming from? Wayne Rooney's done what did you say? Remarkable job?
Tremendous job.
Tremendous job. On the basis of what? I understand he's had points deducted. Derby have probably got one of the best top 8 teams in that league. Look at the team they've got. And I know they got the points deducted. I understand all that behind the scenes, but Wayne's there to deal with what happens on the pitch. I think he did a average to below average job, but the media and everyone keeps telling you he's done a tremendous job. Tremendous job for me would be getting in the playoffs. That would be like, whoa, that's a serious job he's done there with the point deductions. I mean, did Derby get relegated?
They did, yeah. But with the point being, Curtis, without the point deductions, they would have been near on at the playoffs.
Well, I think they'd been about 10th, wouldn't they, mid-table?
Yeah, they wouldn't have been far off.
Yeah. But, you know, if he'd have kept them up, then you could have said that's a really, really good job.
That's what I'm thinking. If he had kept them up and all that, like, I think Rooney's got a great media backing. His agents and everyone are really like they're knuckled down with all of that. You know, the past he's had with, you know, the hookers in flipping Proziazes and all of that. You know what I mean? I think they've really knuckled down on his like image. And that's just that, I think, because you don't get relegated and then you're coming and telling me he's done a tremendous job. That don't make no sense. 30 points deducted or none. Like, if you keep them up, like Curtis is saying, then you can say, you know what, he done a decent job there, you know, because they had 30 points. But you've been relegated, bro. You're in League One now. Like,
Yeah.
and then you leave.
Turmoil in the background that was going on. His management company stepped in and paid 1.2 million of the salaries.
Like Curtis is saying, everything comes down to on the pitch.
You wouldn't.
Everything comes down to on the pitch, bro. It don't matter about his management paying 1.2, 3, 4, 5 million. 3 points on a Saturday.
All right, let's hear this then. Knighty, you're the manager in League Two. The club are in turmoil. I mean, utter turmoil. Nightlife management or Night Smart management are going to chuck in 1.4 million out of your money to pay everyone. Yeah,
absolutely no chance. They can fuck off. They can get relegated.
I'm talking the physio.
Man have to go without pay. No.
The admin team, the PR, the social media, the players. You're in charge of everything, Knight. You've got to find that money out for a month or two out your pocket. What's your guess?
It's not happening. It's just like, come on, bruv. Like, really and truly, like, it's down to the club and all of that to provide, you know, the players' wages. Like, why? I'll be thinking to myself, why am I going to be paying the wages? But like, that would be impossible. I would not do that.
Do we give Wayne extra marks to the fact that his company allegedly did do that?
Why?
No.
Why? That's what I'm trying to say. Why?
And you know what? Like, you look at, take the point deductions away. So if they started with the same points as everyone else, I think they'd have finished 12th, 13th, 14th. With that squad, shocking. So where has this come from that Wayne Rooney's done an amazing job? It's unbelievable, really. Like Knight said, whoever his PR team are, they're doing a fantastic job. Wayne Rooney, for me, has done an average to below average job. That's my honest opinion. I've got nothing against Wayne Rooney. I think Wayne Rooney, like proper legend, one of the best players we've produced for years and years and years. But we got to call a spade, and he hasn't done a good job. He's got the team relegated.
Has he done a good enough job, in your opinion, to get a club of the same level or above in stature?
No. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying. I think a job for him next would probably be another championship job. I think he's shown that he can, win games at that level. So I don't know. Can't think of a team off the top of my head. But yeah, someone in and around that type of derby type level. But when people are talking about him like getting the big jobs on the basis of what? A relegation on his CV.
Yeah, but I mean, his name was getting thrown about for the Everton job, and I know Lampard you can put into all of that, but Lampard's been Chelsea and he's got a little piece of experience there and all that. Like, if I'm Wayne Rooney, I just stay at Derby, try and get him promoted again, and try and build from there. Like, you just stay there. Like, where's he actually going from there? Like, if he gets a Prem job. Mate, honestly.
I don't think he's got a chance of getting a Prem job. Who are you thinking in the Prem? So say the season starts, manager starts, get the sack. Where would he go? What's a likely route for him in the Premier League? I don't see one for him.
He brings a lot of contacts, a lot of hype, a lot of media attention. I'm guessing a lot of sponsorships that go along with having him involved in any club. So it's going to tick a lot of boxes commercially to have someone like Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, but like I always say, on a Saturday afternoon at 3:00, when that referee blows the whistle, can he get his team to get 3 points?
And the answer to that so far is...
Forget the commercial side of everything. Like, this is where football's going wrong these days as well. Everybody's looking at, he will bring in this sponsorship, he will bring that sponsorship, blah, blah, blah. And in the end, you get relegated, bro. Like, what's the sponsorship's going to do when you get relegated? It's going to say, boy, I ain't going there no more. Do you know what I mean? We're going to have to part company and blah, blah, blah. And that's it.
Yeah. I'm not having him. I don't think he'll... I don't think he will prove to be a successful manager. That's my honest opinion, on the basis of not much, to be honest. Seen his interviews, the way he comes across, I don't think he's cut out to do the job.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd say along them lines as well, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Only obviously time will tell, but I'd say along them lines, just seeing how he is. Derby, I watched a few of their games last season and whatever whenever they was on TV and that, and not for me, mate. To be honest, not for me.
It's not improved them from what was before, has it?
Oh, hell no.
They're a lot worse team now than when Frank Lampard had them. The style of play they're playing now under Wayne Rooney, it's a big notch down from how Frank Lampard had them playing. And Frank Lampard never got them promoted. He lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it seems like Wayne Rooney's gone in there and made them worse.
But it was the same thing with Lampard. Great player, Premier League legend, all the attention and and all of this and all of that. And I mean, what?
I do think Rooney will be a better manager next time round for the experience, absolutely. And I think Frank will be the same for the experience he's had at Chelsea. It will improve them. But if you're talking about Wayne Rooney now getting a top 6 Premier League job, top half Premier League job, he's nowhere near ready. He should be looking at things like Millwall or Bristol City or somewhere like that. That's
just stay at Derby, Curtis. You're there. Yeah. You've got your flipping. Your style of play and everything, all the players, staff and everything already. Stay there, like try and get back up into the Championship and work your way from there, mate. Do you know what I mean? Next year, try and get, playoffs or something, and then following year, you know what I mean? Try and get into the flipping Prem, try and win it or whatever. Just it don't make
seems strange him leaving like a week before the takeover, doesn't it? Seems weird. A strange time to leave.
Maybe something that we don't. Maybe it was not going to get the financial backing or clout that he would have required to make the team competitive. Well, I know we're speculating, but maybe he feels he's taken that project as far as he can. Didn't want to be in the league below, possibly.
Well, hold on a minute. He took them to the league below.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, Curtis, get them back out the league.
The argument are obviously the financial stuff, the points deduction. There's a lot of faculties to take into question. It's not just a case.
Yeah, definitely. And him doing a good job would be taking all that into consideration and keeping them up. And then he'd be like, "Yeah, fair play, done a good job there." Yeah. He did what was expected of a run of the mill manager. He took them down.
Yeah. I could have done that. Fucking hell.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd have pissed that.
I would have done that earlier than he done it, mate. Trust me. I had about 12 games left. It would have been gone.
You know what the best thing Wayne Rooney could have done, managing Derby, was get his boots back on and go and play.
Do you know what I mean?
I thought it was going to come to that at one point, to be honest.
Bruv, he don't look like he can play. I tell ya. Flip it. He's younger than me.
Yeah, he looks old, doesn't he?
He looks flipping like he's stressed.
Why do you think certain players age really quickly?
Well, I don't know.
Especially when you come into management.
To be fair, Rooney looked old from the get-go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He looked old from the game. He was 16 and he looked like flipping 26. Do you know what I mean? Even strength-wise, everything, he just was flipping. He's like a freak of nature, he was.
Yeah, he's a man-child, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just a freak of like, unbelievable player. Don't get me wrong, unbelievable. But bloody hell, I tell you, he must like a bevy and everything, and a curry and everything, mate, because he's just flipping. The other day, I seen him get out of that car with that court case thing, and I said, that is not Rooney, bruv. Yeah, he's just cold, like full grey, bruv.
Yeah.
Like, pressure. I couldn't believe it. Man. Right, me now, I got no grey in my head, I'm 40 in 2 months, 3 months.
You've definitely been having some tint.
Black.
Tint where I'm from, we don't get tints.
100%.
Black.
No chance. Yeah, but I laugh, bro. That's hairline in there, right there.
I need to go Turkey, man. I need to go Turkey.
Hey, James, how old are you, though?
I'm 38, 39, yeah. 38.
Yeah, but you look older than me and Woodhouse.
No,
mate, you can't be the youngest on this Zoom.
What are you talking about?
No, brother, I'm telling you.
Like a little Buddha. What are you talking about?
Mate, next week I want to see your passport.
What do you mean? I look well.
Nah, you're not younger than you're younger than me.
100%. I you wouldn't know this mentality-wise because I'm like the adult here, but
flipping hell. That is mental.
It's rough down south.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, lads. We just accidentally flicked a switch on the PS5.
I asked to see your passport, and all of a sudden we got technical issues. Yeah.
He was like,
I was cutting it. Let's get on.
I was frozen for a minute, bro.
While we're on the subject of former Derby managers, we mentioned Frank Lampard. Let's talk a little bit about club legend, friend of the show, cult hero, icon, Big Duncan Ferguson, given his P45 at Everton. He's gone. Departure, the big number 9. No respect for legacy or time for change of a new era. How'd you boys see it? Give me your thoughts.
Well, listen, Big Dunk, I don't want no beef. I don't want no smoke, no anything. But, I mean, I think it's run its course, really, with him there. It's either he was going to take over as manager, yeah, or, do you know what I mean? Managers that come in, they've got their, like, who they want to bring in. They've got their, like, their assistant manager, their coaches, and this, that, and the other. And he always used to, like, slip through the net and, you know, kind of get in with. I just think, why didn't he go on and just go and be a manager somewhere else? I always thought that, like, he's got everything about him. Like, he goes into a club, they'll respect him instantly. Yeah? No, whether it's through fair or whatever, yeah, they will respect him instantly. Then all he's got to do is imply his, like, way of playing, get the players in that he wants, you know, get the fans in behind him and that, and they'll be flying.
Yeah, I think Knight's hit the nail on the head. I think it's a perfect outcome for everyone, really, because every manager that comes, he's kind of just hanging around, isn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no one really wants to say anything like, fucking hell, someone want to go and tell Big Dunk he's taking the under 16s today. You know what I mean? So I think it's a perfect for him to branch out. He's had a little taste of the hot seat, done brilliant at Everton whenever he's dipped in. But yeah, get him out and let's see what he can do. I'm looking forward to see what he can do, really. You know, I like his energy that he brings to it. He's picked up the experience from the Everton Academy. To see him get the Derby job or something like that, I think the Derby job would be great for him. Something like that, I think, you know, that at that type of level, get him in, get a couple of good jobs under his CV, and then I think ultimately he will be looking at going back to Everton as a manager in a couple of years, similar to what Gerrard's done. You know, we all know he's got an eye on going back to Liverpool. Went out to Glasgow Rangers, did amazing. Come back to Villa, had a good start, stuttering a little bit, but be finding his feet. I'd like to see Big Dunk do something similar.
Do you think managers are threatened sometimes when they come into a position or a club and there's a big character in the dressing room or around the club who's an icon, who effectively, if things aren't going too well, can bring in quite smoothly with a smooth transition? Do you think that sometimes that could be sort of something in the mix and a thought that's gone through the manager's mind?
I think if Frank Lampard's ever under pressure, you know, you're going to get the fans that say, just give it to Big Dunk. And whether Frank can handle that or Frank wants that, I don't know. I don't know Frank Lampard on a personal level. But I just think it's the timing, isn't it? He's been there long enough, Big Dunk. If he was going to get the job, he'd have got it by now. And he probably knows that I'm just hanging around like a spare part. He's got to go and build his own legacy, build his own career, really.
I tell you, if he done it 3-4 years ago, he would have had a decent CV by now, mate. I'm telling you, because like I said, whether it's through fear or just, you know, grabbing necks and flipping shirts and getting everyone together and getting a flipping good atmosphere within the changing room and getting everyone working for each other, you can tell he's got that. Do you know what I mean? He ain't going to take no shit from anybody. He'll slap them upside their head. Do you know what I mean? So I think 3 or 4 years ago, he went out, he would have been like at least championship now and all that. Do you know what I mean? Because there's some managers out there, mate.
They're raping a living.
Mate, honest to God, Jesus.
Big Dunk, who wouldn't want to play for Big Dunk?
Yeah, definitely. You'd want to play for him. He's got that personality, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'd have loved to play for him. Because you can get nasty as well, like on the pitch, like he would love that. Do you know what I mean? Leave your foot in and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
You know what though? Have you heard Dominic Calvert-Lewin talk about him? The one-on-one work that he did with Dominic Calvert-Lewin when he started scoring loads of goals. Seen a couple of interviews and he spoke about what an influence Big Dunk had on him, different runs to make, you know, his heading technique. So maybe because Big Dunk played how he played and he is who he is, maybe we're not giving him the credit for the technical work that he does as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see how he goes. To be fair, I think he's got the foundations of being a really good manager. And you know them Scottish people as well. You know when they talk, they always sound quite aggressive, don't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can imagine if he loses it with you, I can imagine him being quite a scary dude.
100%. My mum's Glaswegian. My mum's Glaswegian, so I've been shouting at in that Scottish accent my whole life, really. So yeah, quite an intimidating accent.
Yeah.
Even when they're just asking you something normal, it can be quite aggressive.
I had Joe Jordan at flipping Huddersfield. Jesus Christ, mate, honestly. and I had Mark McGee at Brighton. Both flipping hard men, like, do you know what I mean? In love a tackle. And when you're losing in that changing room, mate, Jesus, it all kicks off, mate. I tell you, it all kicks off, mate. Honestly, they ain't got that. Not shying away from you. You're fucking shit. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, proper. Like, I don't think them kind of managers will last in today's game. No chance.
Do you think that still goes on, Knighty? Do you think still people are digging each other out after games?
No chance. They'll rather go home, be on WhatsApp to their mates or whatever. Do you know what I mean? They'd rather text it in the group flipping chat than flipping anything else, mate. But you know, like when we was playing, it was fucking you need to start putting your fucking weight, mate, honestly. Because fucking we're giving, well, me personally, like I've been in a couple of them as well, and you know when you just fucking got off there, you fucking and nothing's going right, you're hitting balls wide and fucking your touch should be all right and it's not all right and this, that, the other. And I had like players like Charlie Oatway, fucking listen, mate, I tell you, I got kids to feed. Like, do you know what I mean? You better fucking, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember me and flipping Trevor Benjamin at Brighton went out. One shouldn't have went out. It was like a Thursday. And we was lagging on a Friday and we travelled on a Friday, but the bus was just stinking of booze as well. We was flipping. I was flying, mate. I tried to sleep it off. And the bus is moving and stuff. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be sick and whatever. And he pulled us, Charlie, and he pulled us in the hotel just before we got into the hotel. He said, listen, mate, we was like getting into the playoffs. And he said, listen, mate, I got 6 kids to feed. We're relying on you two to get us some goals, and you lot are fucking just hanging, bruv. Like, come on, we need, like, do you know what I mean? But that made me like think, right, no, I need to flip in. I need to put my act together here, like, do you know what I mean? So you get them sort of players in there. I didn't mind them sort of players as well. Like, I didn't mind someone telling me I was shit. Like, you need to fucking pull your weight, like, do you know what I mean? I didn't mind that at all.
Knighty coincidentally went on to score the goal to take them into the championship. So maybe his pep talk worked a little bit, Knighty.
No, bro, he didn't. I mean, come on, I think I went on a decent run after that of like scoring goals and stuff. I think I got 28 that season, but like it was like it made me think like I was only young. I was probably about 20 or something like that. Like, it made me think like, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of selfishness. Like everybody, like I didn't have no kids at that point there, so you know what I mean. That weren't even coming into consideration. Like so, it made me think like this ain't just like kicking the ball about. Like this is, do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's bonuses here for flipping. I'm thinking bonus, yeah, and go Marbella and be like whatever. But people like got kids, like the bonus will go for. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking to myself, nah, you need to get yourself in shape and flipping ordinary and flipping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what, Knighty? There's nothing worse than getting not a bollocking, but feeling like you've let down your teammate. There's nothing worse. You know when a manager rips into me at halftime or after the game, I'm coming straight back at him. You know, we can argue, but you know when a player says something to you and you know deep down, you know what, I fucking let him down. It's a horrible feeling because your players in there, like your brothers and your family, and you feel like you've let them down massively. But a manager, like if a manager could shout and scream at me all he wanted, but if a player said to me, listen, you're letting us all down here, mate. Yeah. That used to cut deep.
I'd go home, mate. I'd go home and I would be absolutely in my head. And then I'll come in like Monday morning flying. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'd make sure I'll be flying throughout the whole week. And on Saturday, I'd give me best and hopefully tuck a little goal or slank or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But you're right, mate. Nothing like a player telling you, mate, you're letting us down, mate. Honest to God, mate. That is probably the worst, mate. The worst.
Whether a smart manager would ever tell one of his other players to tell another player, pull his socks up a little bit, knowing the impact it had on you two, that you worked harder and listened more than whether it coming from a manager. Just wonder if there are any managers tactically smart enough to employ that tactic.
I think all the best teams that I've played for, the teams where we've been successful and done well, the players have always ran the show.
Mate. First.
Yeah, they've always ran the show. They've looked after the dressing room. The manager obviously picks a team, does this, that, and the other, but the manager never runs the dressing room. If you've got a good group of lads in there and they set the rules, they set the standards, there's always the best teams I've played for. If there's no leaders in that dressing room and it's every man for themselves, it always ends up carnage. Yeah. You need 4 or 5 senior heads in there that have the authority and have the respect of the others. Then things normally go well.
Yeah, I had that at Brighton, and I had that at Swansea, and see me play my best football. To be honest, like Curtis is saying, like the manager's there to pick the side, and obviously tactics and whatever and this, that, and the other. But on a day-to-day, you don't really see him unless you're out on the field. Like when you're in the change rooms and stuff and whatever, it's the players. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Curtis is saying, you got 1 or 2 players. We had Charlie Oatway and Richard Carpenter that had our changing room together. Do you know what I mean? Even if we got in a bit of trouble, like out or whatever, you know what I mean? They would come to us. Even if it's a lie, we're going to lie. Then they will go to the manager and say, listen, blah, blah, blah. And that's how it was, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like when they come to you, like I was just now saying, and tell you letting us down, it makes it even worse, mate. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, defo, mate, flipping the players. If you've got a couple of players in there that take care of the changing room, mate, it's always better, mate.
Even the leaders in the dressing room go to the gaffer and say, listen, we need a night out, gaffer. So what we're saying here, lads are going out Tuesday, can we have Wednesday off? Stuff like that. They're the ones.
Listen, mate, I tell you, we'll have a good result. We'll have a good result on a Tuesday night. Yeah? And boy, be on the way home on the coach. Yeah, lads, when we get dropped off, we're going straight to the beachfront. We're off on Wednesday. We're in Thursday afternoon. So make sure no one gets arrested and we'll just have a good time. Like that was the kind of like, you know what I mean? Atmosphere I was in around when I was playing like that. It was brilliant. I don't know if they've got it anymore or whatever, but
I know Chris Wilder used to do something similar at Sheffield United. I think Chris Wilder's, from the old school with the modern techniques, the way his teams play are great. Yeah. But, loads of times when Sheffield United got good results, they were flying, went from League One to the Championship to the Premiership. On the way home, it'd be like stop off at the services or whatever and fill the coach full of booze.
Yeah,
that was how it was, and I think it just goes to show his results kind of backed it up because you got a group of lads, which the majority were put together in League One that ended up in the bloody Championship on team spirit. I was like, listen, some of them are good players, no doubt about it, but it just shows if you can build something like that, it's a massive advantage.
100%.
Let's go on to part of the show suggested by the War Dog, the War Buddha. I like to call player comparisons. I'm quite excited.
Have you been on my Twitter, have you?
I've had a little bit. I know you stir up a lot of controversy with these, so I thought we'd try to monetize that and make it a thing on the show. Do you know what I mean? First comparison. Ryan Giggs, Sadio Mane. Interesting. Now, I know, let's just before we start, one played in a 4-4-2, one played in a 4-3-3, slightly different, but I wanted to have a player from relevance from one era to the next era to make a more interesting comparison for our demographic. So let's start off with the Ryan Giggs, Sadio Mane debate. Where do you stand on it initially? I'm going to go to Brother Woodjack with this initially. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you're probably asking the wrong person. I honestly think Ryan Giggs was a good player in an outstanding team, in an outstanding era. I can't think of one thing Ryan Giggs does better than Sadio Mane. And you get all the Man United fans saying, yeah, he won 26 million trophies. I'm not interested in any of that. We're talking about player versus player here. Mane, for me, is streets ahead of Ryan Giggs. The goals he scores, the assists he made, his international appearances, what he's won for his country as well. Completely different planet, in my opinion. I think, I said the other day, and I got slaughtered for it, that Paul Scholes is one of the most overrated players in the history of football. And I stand by that. A very, very close second is Ryan Giggs. Very close second. For me, you look at Giggs' stats. When you look at him, if you didn't have Ryan Giggs' name above his stats, you'd probably think he was a fullback. He didn't score goals, didn't create goals. He was very, very good team player, would do the ugly side of it, ran up and down, did a lot of hard work. No big club ever wanted Ryan Giggs. No club. If Ryan Giggs came on the market, your big boys were not going to be signing him. I think he was, a good player in a great team. Grossly overrated. And Sadio Mane pisses all over him, player for player.
A few things will stand out, and I think there was hyped up majorly, like the goal against flipping FA Cup goal against Arsenal that he scored where he ran and done all that and whatever. But bar that, do you know what I mean? He's a pretty standard player.
From a United fans' point of view, that's probably one of the most iconic goals they've seen Giggs score.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
The rivalry between Arsenal and Man United. He's not doing this against a Division 2 side. So.
No problem. But I'm just saying, that's overhyped. Like Curtis is saying, you look at his stats, you take the name away, and you can guess who it is.
One thing I think you have to give him massive credit for is his longevity. To be at the top level for as long as he did was incredible. Must have looked after himself. Being gifted genetically, great. I give him massive props to be at the top level at the top club for as long as he was. But we can't let that cloud the fact that he was a steady player. Good now, steady's harsh. He was a good player in a great team. But how many times did he really rip a team apart? You look at someone who else played on the left wing for say Ginola, for example. Ginola would have games where he would completely take over and rip teams apart. I don't think Ryan Giggs ever had a game like that.
Right. I've got Giggs' complete stats here for his career. So he played 945 games in total, 161 goals, 255 assists. Played 264 of them games from left midfield, 61 from attacking midfield or central midfield, 31 from attacking midfield, and he played as a second striker 7 times in his career. So if you think the bulk of his games, he's been on the left field, not even left wing, left midfield.
Yeah.
Are those stats terrible for a left midfielder?
And 900 games.
945 games, 161.
And you've got 100 and what?
161 goals, 255 assists.
So he's got about one. He's got a goal every 8 games.
Well, his Premier League record reads 632 games, 109 goals, 164 assists.
What you've got to remember as well is, don't forget the period that he played for Manchester United. They were dominating the league, dominating England, smashing everyone 4s, 5s, winning the league by 20 points or whatever. You got to take that into consideration. You get his stats up. You put them next to John Barnes' stats, who played on the left-hand side of midfield for Liverpool. You look at their most predominant seasons. So you put Giggs' best 5 seasons up for Man United. You put John Barnes' best 5 seasons up for Liverpool. We're talking about a complete different level. Yeah.
John Barnes, the whole John Barnes, Ryan Giggs, it's not even an issue. John Barnes is streaks ahead of Ryan Giggs. It's the like skill-wise, everything, goal scoring wise, how you can score goals, different types of goals, everything. It's not even an issue, bro. That don't even. John Barnes is a complete in his own league compared to Giggs. That don't make no sense. Don't make no sense.
But Barnes for me is like the best left midfielder, left winger that we've ever seen in this country. You know, when we're going back to the old 4-4-2, no one can touch John Barnes. Left foot, right foot, strength, speed, great in the air. But Barnes was a proper player. It's a shame there's not as much footage around of him. He was kind of before the YouTube era or whatever. There should be a lot more footage. It's a shame because these young pups won't really appreciate how good he was. Yeah, I was born in 1980, so I was brought up watching John Barnes.
I was 82.
You can't compare Barnes to Giggs. You just really can't. The only people that will think Ryan Giggs is better than John Barnes are Man United fans. Nobody else.
So Sadio Mane, 453 games, 192 goals, 95 assists. Bearing in mind, a lot higher up the pitch in the three, so we've got to take that into factors into consideration. Are his stats that much better than Giggs's?
Yeah. What's he scored? Like one in 2.5 there or something? One in every 2.5 games?
Yeah.
One every 3 games or something, isn't it?
Yeah. And he has, bearing in mind, he has played slightly a little bit higher than Giggs. Maybe sort of in a left wing, left forward role, where Giggs was more of a left midfielder.
But again, you look at Liverpool in that time, Sadio Mane has won the league once. Giggs won it, 14 times or whatever? I don't know how many he won it.
Man United were dominating at that point there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So to get only what goals he got, 160 odd or whatever, is flipping a joke, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
Absolute joke.
I agree. Giggs for me should be around 300.
100%. I was going to say 300 goals.
Yeah. All day long.
900 games, bro, in a Man United side that's been dominating for like 12 years.
Yeah.
I think you guys need to put a bit more respect on Giggs' name. 34 career trophies. He not only ranks as Manchester United's most decorated player, he also is the most decorated player in the game, with a list of honours including 13 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues, 4 FA Cups, 1 UEFA Cup, 1 World Club Cup Intercontinental, $1 million belt cup.
That's the team, though, isn't it? That's not him. That's the team, and we're giving him credit, for his longevity. Maximum credit for that. It's amazing for him to be, at the top level for so long. So 100% maximum credit for that.
The stats tell the whole story, though. Are we missing the amount of times that he maybe played the ball to the player who got the assist?
We don't want to hear that.
Value this stuff for 90. Do we just look at end product? Do we not?
Yeah, that's nonsense. That means now you got attention. That means the player that passed it to him can now look at it. Don't make no sense.
Do we look at dribbles made? Do we not look at pass completion?
No.
On assist?
No. Forget that.
The biggest thing that I'm taking off that Barnes is miles better than Giggs and Mane is better than Giggs is, the stats come into it, but I'm just using my eyes from what I saw. It's simple as that. I've never seen Giggs have a game where I'm like, wow, this guy's unplayable today. He's never had one of them games. He didn't even have a trick. He just knocked it ran. He didn't. You never seen him you never seen a little step over. You never seen anything. Like no juju coming from Ryan Giggs. He didn't have nothing. He was just a knocking run merchant. I'm talking probably a little bit harsh here because obviously he was a good player. He was a good player in a great team who was very, very workmanlike. Ran up and down, did the ugly side of the game. Apart from that, I'm like, really? Is that it? Very good athlete.
Head down and away.
World-class athlete, fit, strong, could run all day, was quick. But imagine him, I bet in possession, when you have them possession games night in training, I bet the ball was coming off his shins and everything. I'd be like, in the picking the teams, 100% he's getting last picked. 100%. He stood there with David May, like, guys, come on.
All right, then. So Sadio Mane, in both your opinions, is ahead of Giggs. Where does Giggs rank in all-time Premier League left midfielders, left wingers?
He's not even in the discussion for me. So all time he's probably going top 5?
Yeah, so you're looking at the best left midfielders, left wingers.
Well, give us the names. What names have you got?
That just Premier League history.
Yeah, what names have you got for that?
So let's have a think. So we're gonna chuck in Robert Pires,
Barnes. So I think, hold on a minute. So we need some criteria here, because I think you've got to you've got to take the players and you've got to say like their best 3 seasons. So we're kind of picking their peak 3 seasons and who was the best.
That might have to be for another show, bro. Because right now that can't happen right now. You can't just pick out there. Because I can say Concladze's better than flipping than Giggs. Like I can say a few players.
It's what a player he was. The lack of respect I hardly ever hear him mention because he was.
Robert Pires is better than him. Ginola's better than him. Like there's Anders Limpar was better than him. There's a load of players that's better than him.
Overmars playing the left.
Yeah, left or right. He was better than him as well.
I think him over Giggs all day long.
Nicky Barnes.
Chris Waddle. Waddle's better than Giggs.
100%. 100% Waddle's better than Giggs.
So many. Probably put 10 together that are better than Giggs. I'll tell you where he gets on the list, James, and the all-time great left midfielders. He fucking don't make the list.
Yeah.
He's not on the list.
Simple. And like we said, there's no disrespect. Man United supporters who's listening to this, there's no disrespect to him, but we're just dealing with, what we're seeing. Like Curtis said, with the eyes. We've got eyes. We're seeing what we're seeing.
I've tried to play devil's advocate as much as I can for the Man United fans and try to give a spirited argument back on the Giggs case. So I appreciate it. So we're ranking Mane well ahead of Giggs.
Oh. Yeah, don't even put them in the same sentence.
Main.
Come on. Main. So what about the rape case? We ain't gonna do that.
It's a tough one because we haven't got an alleged name. So what do we go on the fact that he's 29 and from North London? I don't know. It's a tough one.
And his country have got into the World Cup.
What rape case? I don't know nothing about this. I've been away.
Someone got dragged in, didn't they?
Someone got dragged.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Monday.
North London, Premier League.
Yeah.
29 years old, and countries made the World Cup.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of speculation. I saw a list of every 29-year-old who's made the World Cup. Everyone was debating it. I can't really chuck around that kind of fire with the names and that.
No. I'm just saying. Like, who is it? I know who it is.
You know who it is?
Yes.
I think I do anyway.
He knows everything.
I think I do.
After.
Yeah. 100%. I'll put it into the group chat.
Yeah, he knows everything.
Oh dear.
Stuff he knows.
Well, have they been charged? Not been charged, no?
Well, he's been arrested, isn't he? I don't know if he's been charged. They dragged him.
Then?
So, yeah, it's been all over. Where have you been?
Yeah. Croatia, baby.
He's been out the Hideout Festival. What are you getting right amongst it?
I said Croatia, baby. Now this happened. What was it? Last night? The night before?
It's been breaking for the last few days, to be fair. But because there's not much we can speculate on. Do you know what I mean?
Well, flipping. No, they throw enough flipping carrots out there. 29, North London, World Cup. It's going World Cup. Well, it's meant to be going World Cup.
Well, for England, English player.
We don't know. Hasn't said.
Knighty, blink twice if it's an England player.
Like the worst game of Guess Who ever, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's the worst game of Guess Who I've ever seen.
Blink twice as if you heard it's an African player.
Okay.
Oh my God. Allegedly.
Wow.
All right. Well, we'll see when and how that story develops. No doubt we will cover it because this is what we've meant to be talking about. Thank you very much to the boys for their time today. If you are watching this on the Pitch Football app, go and check out our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. And we'll see you on Friday for Not For The News Transfer Special. Thank you very much, lads. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and download the Pitch Football app. Flipping hell. Trying to get paid out here, bro.
Listen, Nighty knows what time it is.